Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and we are going to be doing our March TBR. So last month we did all things Jane Austen and I thought we would leave it up to the fates this month to figure out what we're going to read. So I've had these tarot cards that I got from Parade when I bought like a bunch of things from them and they just sent them to me. It was like one of those, like buy a certain amount, you get something. And so I've had these tarot cards and I don't know much about tarot and I'm not really looking to necessarily learn how to do tarot readings or anything like that, but I think tarot cards are very interesting. I think there's so many interesting art styles that go into tarot, and I just thought it'd be fun to learn a little bit more about it. And with that, I thought it'd be really fun to do what they call like a 5-card spread and use what we learn about each one of those tarot cards to pick some books on my TBR shelf and from the library to put in my March TBR. So that is what we're gonna do today. So I mentioned, I guess I wanna just give a little bit of an explanation of what a 5-card tarot spread is. So my experience with tarot has always been like a 3-card spread. So it's like past, present, and future, and you randomly the cards, and then depending on where they're set in your spread, you have like your 3-card spread. So the 5-card spread is just like that, but we are adding 2 more cards to this spread. And since I want to add about 5 books to my TBR, I thought that would be the perfect fit to do this. Now, I found this information about a 5-card tarot spread on a website called A Little Spark of Joy, which I will go ahead and link that down below in the description box. But they gave like a bunch of different options of like how to use the 5-card spread for different types of like placement of the cards. So I am going to do the 5-card spread for healing and self-love because I feel like reading is a lot of healing and self-love for a lot of us, so I thought that would be a great pick. So I will have, we'll put the graphic somewhere on here of what the spread looks like and then what they signal. So for our first card in the spread, that's going to be, the legend says it's what makes you wonderful. For the second one, is going to be why you should be proud. The third one is what you bring to others. The fourth one is negative actions and thoughts. And the fifth one is positive actions and behavior. Now, I do know that tarot has a lot to do with intuition and understanding the cards and reading them. But for this TBR, my goal is going to be to pull each one of these cards in our spread, learn a little bit more about it, and then see what book I have on my shelf that I think would fit into the theme of that card, and that card will go along with that book. So that is what we're going to do. So first things first, let's get our spread set out so we can see what books we're going to be reading here in the month of March. All right, let's go. All right, lesson 1 of tarot cards is to really make sure you shuffle them the first time you get a new deck, because we had all of these same cards. So let's try this again. The tarot cards are really going to pick our TBR this time. So we're going to go with number 1 first. And we still have sticks. So the sticks are the minor arcana, and each of the minor arcana represent a different type of element. So the wands here represent fire. And right here we have number 7. And number 7 is with the public success of the 6. Competition is inevitable. This card represents the struggle to maintain position. The struggle to maintain position. Interesting. So I feel like we need something with possibly fantasy, possibly like a royal element. Okay. I think we're going to go with the Inheritance Game. Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And this reads, Avery Graham has a plan for a better future. Survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch? Avery must move into a sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that was just disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman and he is determined to take her down. But his brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege with danger around every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive. I think this perfectly encapsulates the idea of the Seven of Wands. She gains success by getting this money and being able to move on in her life, but she's not going to gain this success without competition. So our first book is The Inheritance Game, and I'm excited because I feel like a young adult novel will be a great addition here after having read so much Regency period works last month. This will be, a quick and easy read, I'm hoping. Next, so that was number 1, What Makes You Wonderful. Our second card, which is here in the middle, is the Knight of Cups. Okay, so Cups is another minor arcana, I believe. I have this tiny book that I'm getting these answers from here that came with it. So the Cups are another minor arcana, and the cups signify water. So we had a fire element, and now we have a water element. So the Knight of Cups is representative of someone who is in tune with their emotions. They will listen to their heart regardless if it is logical or not. That sounds like a romance, if ever we did get one, and that's what I should be proud of. So I listen to the heart when it's calling for you. I believe I'm going to go with the third book in the Mirror Visitor series, The Memory of Babel. And the reason for this is that I believe Ophelia is going to follow her heart and do what she believes, not necessarily just in romance, but in general. And I think she will always make some interesting choices because of that. And so in this third installment, we are following Olivia almost 3 years after the events of the end of the second book. And we are actually leaving her arc. We're actually going to a new arc. She travels to Babel, a cosmopolitan and thoroughly monitored arc that is the jewel of the universe and where automata have taken over the humblest jobs from humans. But under the surface of this seemingly peaceful and orderly arc, social unrest stirs, fed by the memories of a fateful ancient purge and the inhabitants' growing fear of being replaced altogether. Will Ophelia's talent as a reader be enough to prevent her being lured into a deadly trap by her ever more fearful adversaries? Will she ever see Thorn, her betrothed, again? Am I pushing this into here? I think so. But am I excited? Yes, ma'am. Okay, we also have a theme going right now. Green. Okay, let's go to our third card, and that's going to be what we bring to others. So what are our books going to bring to us? All right, we have the Ace of Wands. We are sitting in the minor arcana today. So the Ace of Wands, now remember, wands are fire. So we're back on our fire trend here. So the Ace of Wands is a sign of new beginnings and potential and encourages following your instincts and starting something new. Following our instincts and starting something new. Okay, following our instincts and starting something new. I feel like for this one, we're going to go with The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So the synopsis of this story is, when Rosemary Harper joins the crew of the Wayfarer, she isn't expecting much. The patched-up ship has seen better days, but it offers her everything she could possibly want. A spot to call home, a chance to explore the far-off corners of the galaxy, and some distance from her past. And nothing could be further from what she's known than the crew of the Wayfarer. I'm not going to go through the rest of it. I think that's a good summation, and that's why I picked this. So she is starting something new and seeing where it takes her. So I feel like this pairs with the Ace of Wands very well, and we are continuing the green trend. Did that influence me? We're going to say no. Hopefully not. But that's where we're at. All right, number 4, which is going to be our top one. Now I am going to put this on top of here only because I want you to be able to see it. So it looks like we're at 10 of Cups. It looks like I've got to really spice this up when it comes to shuffling later on. But all right, 10 of Cups. So again, minor arcana, and this is water. So we've got a lot of water and fire here. So the 10 resembles contentment with relationships. As the 9 shows individual satisfaction, the 10 shares it with others. So negative actions and thoughts is what that means. I'm not sure how to read into that. Okay, I think I'm going to go with The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. So this is a book that takes place just after the Second War in a small English village of Chawton. An unusual but like-minded group of people band together to attempt something remarkable. In the early 1800s, Chawton was the final home of Jane Austen, one of England's finest novelists. By 1940s, little remains of her legacy but a few distant relatives and their diminishing estate, including the cottage where Austen wrote or revised her books. With the wind of change blowing through their country in the post-war days, and the cottage future now in the hands of fate, a group of desperate individuals fight to preserve both Austen's home and her legacy for the world. These people, a young farmer, a young war widow, the village doctor, an employee of Sotheby's, a Hollywood star, and a local solicitor, the anticipated heiress to the estate, and a precocious housegirl, could not be more different, and yet they are united in their love for the works and words of Austen. As each of them endures their own quiet struggle with the loss and trauma of war and other tragedies, they find solace and connection and hope in rallying together to create the Jane Austen Society. But I was thinking, like, with this one, because it's about contentment with your relationships with others, and this is about people forming, like, a relationship through a bond of Jane Austen, I thought it could work with this tarot card. Last. So number 5 in our 5-card spread is positive actions and behaviors. So our last card is the Page of Cups. We will shuffle better next time we do this, but let's see what the Page of Cups is. The Page of Cups represents curiosity and creativity and encourages an open mind to new possible ideas. Fun! Fun. I like that. Okay. Creativity. Open to new ideas. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a stretch, but I do think when we talk about, like, open to new ideas, I feel like reading nonfiction is, like, a really good marrying of that because, you know, we're being presented with new thoughts and opinions. So I am going to go with this book, On Our Best Behavior. And this one I actually picked up from the library a while ago, but just haven't had the chance to read. But I thought this would be a really great book also for March, since March is Women's History Month. So On Our Best Behavior, The 7 Deadly Sins, and The Price Women Pay to Be Good by Elise Lowen. And this book is basically about the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth, and how it has affected our society today. I'm just going to read the bottom portion because I feel like this gives us the best wrap up. In Our Best Behavior, Lowen reveals how we've been culturally programmed to obey the rules represented by these sins and how doing so qualifies us as good. This probing analysis of contemporary culture and thoroughly researched history explains how women have internalized patriarchy and how they unwittingly reinforce it. By sharing her own story and those of many of the thought leaders she's interviewed throughout her career, as well as the spiritual wisdom of other traditions, Loenen shows how we can break free and to discover the integrity and wholeness we seek. So that is on our best behavior, which we're going to do for the Page of Cups. So let's do a quick review again of what we are doing for the month of March. First card, we have the Seven of Wands, and we're going to be reading The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. For the second card, our middle card, we have the Knight of Cups, which we are going to be reading The Memory of Babel. For our third card, we have the Ace of Wands, and we are going to be reading Way to a Small Planet, to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. For our fourth card, which is the Ten of Cups, we're going to be reading the Jane Austen Society. And for our fifth card, the Page of Cups, we will be reading on our best behavior. Well, that was really fun. I'm loving our vibe here, but I feel like this is a pretty good stack, and I am excited. Thank you so much for sticking around and doing this little fun TBR with me. I think that was a lot of fun, and I'd like to do it again. So if you also thought it was fun and would like me to do it again, let me know, because we could do it for April as well. If you enjoyed this video and are looking for other bookish and nerdish content, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Sunday and sometimes on Wednesdays. And in the meantime, I hope you read a good book. I hope you find some joy. And of course, I hope you do something to make the world a better place. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!